Call the meeting to order of this pre-agenda meeting. I will have a roll call. Mayor Pro Tem is not here today. She's out of town. Mr. Reinbach, you here? Mr. Anderson, you here?
Present.
Mr. Barnett, you here? Ms. Spears, you here? Mr. Waddell, you here? Okay, and the chair is here. First order of business is our consent agenda. C1 is approval of the minutes. C2 is a resolution ratifying the year 2023 contract and approving a 3-year contract with an option for 2 additional years with the Thalian Hall Center for the Performing Arts Incorporated for the management, operation, and maintenance of Thalian Hall. C3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a 3-year contract with New Swim of Wilmington, NC to manage operations of the Earl Jackson Pool at Northside Park. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. C4 is a resolution rejecting all bids for the Holly Tree Road at College Road intersection improvements and the Market Street and 21st Street Hawk Signal projects. Yes, sir.
I don't know who to talk to about this, but what are we going to?
Richard Murphy is the project manager, but I'll try to answer your question.
Okay. I don't really have a specific question. I'm just wondering, you know, that Hawk stoplight over there on Market Street, that falls right in there with the Hooker Road plan. We've been working on this forever.
Yes, sir.
And at some point, you know, I guess I don't want to oversimplify it. You come on up, sir. But, I mean, it's not like we're building an overpass or a tunnel. We're putting a damn light up. And at some point, we just got to, you know, to do it.
Yes, sir, we agree.
Can you pull that microphone down just a hair?
Oh, sorry about that. Yep, good morning. We agree 100%, but the bids that came in were extremely high. We need to regroup. And
Why do you think that?
why do I think it?
Yeah.
Well, we reviewed, okay, I'm sorry, we bid this out last year with the Holly Tree Crossing, and that came in too high. So we combined it with this Hawk Signal on Market and 21st, trying to attract more bidders to get the price more reasonable. Only one bidder bid it this March, and they were, sir, 130% over the estimate. So we're evaluating and adjusting the understanding of this project, and we also reached out to local contractors to make them aware to get more bidders. But this project, we also we're also working with the NCDOT, and they reviewed the bids too, and they're helping fund this, and they agree we need to rebid it. It's too high.
Well, I mean, it's not like this is the first time it's happened. They keep coming in like that. What do you and the DOT attribute that to? I mean, it's obvious.
We do understand inflation has gone up, but the lack of competition on this one, sir, there was only one bidder. And
If that's all you've ever had, or one time.
This is the first time we bid the Hawk Signal. We just combined it with another project, hoping we can get them both within reason. This is the very first time we bid the Hawk Signal.
So what is your projected timeline now?
Well, we're hoping to have it bid out for here in the next month. We want to rebid it right away. We're just reaching out to contractors. We're reevaluating our estimate with the NCDOT. We'll put it right out back out for bid. Hope to, you know, get more contractors to bid it and go from there. But I think we're going to be okay this next time around. But this is only going to be the second time for the Hawk Signal, sir.
Well, you're optimistic that this next bid process will come in?
I am.
Okay, thank you.
Tony,
Yes,
I have a follow-up question to Charlie's. When we get into a situation like that, especially with Hawk signals and intersection improvements for pedestrians, do we have the capabilities in-house to do that work?
No, sir, not generally speaking, we do not, no, sir.
Well, don't we maintain the traffic signals for the department on all of our major intersections with the state?
Yes, sir, we do maintain those signals. We do not generally install them.
Okay.
In this case, excuse me, in this case, I think two things. One is the NCDOT disapproval of the bids, simply because there was one bid and it was so high over their estimate. The second issue is we're going to go back and add some specificity to the bid specs for the Hawk signal and hope that that specificity will bring down the cost.
And when we go out for bid on these types of contracts, I would imagine that Mr. Parker has a list of contractors or people out there. Can we expand that net, or is it pretty much set in regards to bidders that we usually go to on projects
We
of this
can
nature?
reach out to bidders if necessary. I don't know that we'll be able to generate interest.
This last one went out to 8 contractors,
8?
but only one bid it
Interesting.
at this time. We're hoping to get them.
Were they all contractors from North Carolina, or were they contractors from various states?
North Carolina, but
Predominantly.
not local, but I mean all over the state.
Sure, okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. C5 is a resolution supporting the North Carolina Department of Transportation's Rail Division application for the Federal Railroad Administrator's Corridor Identification and Development Program for the Wilmington to Raleigh Corridor. C6 is a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2023 through 2024 annual action plan for the use of community development block grant and home funds. C7 is a resolution authorizing the award of contracts to 4 entities to provide public services, to provide shelter, case management, and rehousing services to respond to or prevent the spread of COVID-19 among persons experiencing homelessness. Yes, sir.
Just want to get up at some point, either now or Tuesday, just a handle on the CARES funds. I mean, is that all kind of about run through the system, or do we still have a bucket somewhere where we're trying to find ways to spend?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure.
Isn't
I
this
heard
coming
or
out of the
understand
CARES
the question.
funds, a federal COVID relief bill?
Yes, sir.
So does this come directly from them, from the federal government, directly out of their checkbook, or is that some funds we've already received from them?
This comes directly from the federal government, I believe. Suzanne?
Good morning. Yes, sir. These are, as you said, Councilman Anderson, CARE funds that came from the federal government. They were allocated to HUD, and HUD created a Community Development Block Grant CARES award that we received. And so this was combined with our public service funds for regular CDBG because we had a little bit of both to create an RFP specifically for
So
homeless
is this kind of a
services.
one-time thing, or are those CARES funds going to continue into future years?
No, the CARES funds will not continue in the future. The 15% of our regular community development block grant annual entitlement will continue in the future.
So the CARES thing's kind of, I'm kind of, it's got to be coming to an end, I would
Yes,
think.
it is wrapping up. We used those, we got 2 awards. Early on in COVID, we used those CARES, CDBG CARES funds for a eviction prevention program and for some food distribution, a number of things like that. That was very early on. Then the second tranche of the CARES Act funds, CDBG, was used for driftwood, and then the remainder was put into this pot.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
C8 is a resolution abolishing the city policy 502 ticket distribution policy. Public hearings, PH1A is an ordinance making appropriations to the general fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023. This is a public hearing only. PH1B is an ordinance making appropriation to the grant projects, financial plans, enterprise funds, debit service fund, and special tax district for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023. Again, and this is a public hearing only. PH1C is an ordinance making appropriations to the capital projects funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023. PH1D is an ordinance amending various chapters of the City of Wilmington fee schedule for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023. And then PH2 is an ordinance directing the housing inspector to vacate, close, and repair or demolish a dwelling at 312 South 14th Street as unfit for human habitation pursuant to Article 5, Chapter 16 of the City Code, and directing that a notice be placed thereon prohibiting its use or occupancy. And then PH3 is another one, ordinance directing the housing inspector to vacate, close, and repair or demolish the dwelling at 1208 South 5th Avenue as unfit for human habitation pursuant to Article 5, Chapter 16 of the City Code, and directing that a notice be placed thereon prohibiting its use or occupancy. Real quick on those two items, is there anybody living in those properties that we are aware of? I know
Not to my knowledge.
or is it
but-
just more
No, sir.
air properties?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay. 01 is an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city to rezone property containing 2.44 acres of land located at 2402, 2406, and 2420 South 17th Street and 1608 Wellington Avenue from O&I-1, Office and Institutional District, and then CBCD Community Business Conditional District to CBCD Community Business Conditional District for general retail use with associated fuel pumps and a restaurant. This is a second reading. Item 02 is an ordinance making supplemental appropriations in the amount of $6,861 in the committed revenue funds for the purchase of a new multi-stack cable machine at the Sharondale Morgan Fitness Center. Then 03 is an ordinance to amend the Streets and Sidewalks Capital Projects Fund, the Parks and Recreation Capital Projects Funds, and the Public Facilities Capital Projects Fund for the Limited Obligation Bond Series 2023A. And then 04A, which is an ordinance appropriating funds to a special purpose fund for housing for chronically homeless persons. On the budget impact, as you can see, is $25,000 from the general fund from authorized proceeds from the sale of 1110 Castle Street. Yes, sir.
Tony, just remind me, how much did we end up getting? Was it 450? What do we get for the castle?
For the Castle Street, it was $870,000.
A lot better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just, so that little piece, that's the first piece to come out of it,
Very,
correct?
very small piece, and as the mayor noted, we were trying to reserve those funds for affordable housing. Of course, this fits that bill.
Thank you.
04B is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Good Shepherd Ministries of Wilmington Incorporated in the amount of $126,578 for pre-development costs associated with the construction of affordable housing for chronically homeless persons at 3939 Carolina Beach Road. And then 05A is the ordinance making supplemental appropriations to the Public Facilities Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $3,062,000 for the River Lights Fire Station project. And then 05B is the resolution authorizing the award of the construction contract for the River Lights Fire Station project to Samet Corporation of Greensboro, North Carolina, in the amount of $7,223,697. And then final thing is reports and council appointments and committees for boards and commissions, and Councilmember Ryan Barker will be giving us a report from that. So this concludes this agenda.
Mr. Mayor, we have no presentations for you this morning. Governance Committee will not meet as there is nothing for that agenda. We do have a need for a short closed session if you're willing to undertake that right now. Okay,
very good. Is there a motion to enter into a closed session pursuant to the provisions of North Carolina General Statute, Section 143-318.11A and 3, in order for the City Council to, number one, consult with and provide instruction to the city attorney regarding potential legal claims, including the case of City versus Pope Properties on 17 LLC, and the file number is 22 CVS 3972. I will also note that the closed session will be held in the council chambers. Everyone is asked to leave at this time. At the end of the closed session, council will reopen its public session and adjourn at that time. So do we have a motion? We have a motion Yeah, Councilmember Rivenbark, second by Councilmember Barnett. Discussion, all in favor of that motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item passes unanimously. We're now going to go into closed session.